What is going on, everybody? Like, comment, and subscribe. Turn on post notifications so you know when the live stream pops or drops. It's 12:26 at night, and I just got done recording a podcast, so I'm not going to try to take any more of your time than I have to. This is a have-to video. You guys really haven't gotten the MLB content over the past couple of months, other than Boys in the Big Apple and the discussions on there, but the MLB. You mostly get on Twin Bill and that stuff when I'm on with Pete and all the other guys on NYY News TV. That's just a fun fact. And that's really where you've been getting the content the last few months since baseball has ended. And listen, people sometimes don't like when I rant. This is not some bullshit that I'm making up just for clicks and all that other crap. I have been told in the comments that, oh, your ranting is most uninformed thing. You know what? Do me a favor, click on another video if you don't like. Listen, everybody has their opinion, but you're wasting your time if you don't like my ranting. But just this video, yeah, I'm sick and tired of the MLB just being so fucking disorganized. So unorganized. Overall, over the last 6 months, however many months you want to take it as. Really 2-3 months if you want to counter it. But really, we all knew this was going to happen. At least one of the parts, the lockout. We all know the lockout, the stupid rules that the MLB wants to put in, the cheap-ass owners, the Players Association rejecting a federal mediator. It's just nonsense. And it really got to a point for me where I got really pissed off today. I got pissed off. It's not like I was throwing shit because I'm not that guy. If you want to stop watching baseball and you've been a fan for like 20 years, go ahead. If you're a casual, if you're a stupid Gen Z guy who goes on his phone to baseball games, do me a favor, don't even become a fan at all. Because you know what? I'm just sick and tired of this shit. Anyway, that's not the point. That's not the point. MLB is currently halting testing for steroids. Conspiracy theorists, I'll let you override the chat. And this is not even really conspiracy theory. There's two things that go about this. Apparently, there's no agreement on it. An agreement has expired on testing for steroids and testing for drugs. That's number one. Number two, obviously, MLB has a fucking image problem. MLB has a super image problem right now. The stupid rules, getting the Gen Z people in, the attention span, the pace of play, all that other shit. What do they need? Excitement. Well, ladies and gentlemen, after the 94 strike and after the end of the 94 season, and then going back to 95 and all this other crap, you had players who reshaped the image of baseball. Barry Bonds, Mark McGwire, Sammy Screwjob, and not to say Sammy's a screw job, but Sammy not getting into the Hall of Fame is a screw job. Go buy some shirts from NYY News TV. They have their own Sammy Screwjob shirts. This is so hypocritical on the sport, but going back to the point, that was what remade the image of baseball. 1998 was one of the greatest seasons ever in Major League Baseball history. So, what did those players do? There was no rules on it until later on, and then people started coming out with these reports and all this other garbage. Basically, they did steroids. They did steroids. They juiced up. Let's not put it lightly. Let's not sugarcoat it. They juiced up. They fucking took steroids. Mark McGwire hitting 70 fucking home runs in a season, something like that. Anyway, what is my point about this? Those players who reshaped the image of baseball, you know what the MLB did to them? Fuck you. Fuck you. That's what MLB did to them. Because, yes, they did steroids. But let me tell you something. They reshaped the image of the sport after the lockout thanks to the MLB. And obviously the other side as well because, listen, I wasn't alive in 94. But those guys reshaped the image of baseball. And then they fucked them and said, you're not getting in the Hall of Fame. Because guess what? We have a bunch of geeks and booger eaters and just slobs as writers who are so biased, going towards their personal agendas, and, oh, I feel bad for you, I voted Barry Bonds in. That's what John Heyman wrote a couple of days ago on Twitter. And I responded to him. About something, and then I responded to him again. I said, I thought you felt guilty for voting Barry Bonds in, because it was about Joe West retiring. He goes, oh, Barry Bonds deserves it more than West or something like that. I thought, I thought you didn't like Barry Bonds. I thought you felt guilty about voting him in. He goes, no, yes, I do, but, he deserves it more than Joe West. Joe West is probably not getting in the Hall of Fame. If he does, that's a total screw job, thanks to the MLB writers. But what's my point in all this? MLB, in my personal opinion, as I said before, has an image problem, and they're trying to reshape their image. Not just with these new rules, but I think there's going to be a little outlet where they're going to try to soar up the image again, where they're going to try to make it like the 90s. Steroid era. They don't have testing for it. They have rules against it, but they don't have testing for it. So it's kind of topsy-turvy, if you will. And it's super fucking hypocritical. It is. Because one of the top things, just overall with MLB, you should have had this CBA agreement, at least put it in discussions for months back. Because we wouldn't be in a lockout right now. We wouldn't have had all these issues and the possibility of delaying spring training if the CBA and all that shit was discussed back then, a couple of months ago. But no. I'm not going to get into whose fault it is. It's mostly the owner's fault, honestly, for this lockout because they're being super cheap. Fun fact, most MLB teams pay $8 an hour for communication interns. So, McDonald's pays more. Go to your local McDonald's and request a job there. Because I think the federal minimum wage is going to be $15 soon. I don't know. But my point about this whole thing, and maybe a short rant, maybe a long rant, but I think it's a short rant compared to some of the other stuff I've done, is that the MLB wants to either put its image at the top again and try to regain popularity through having players take steroids and come into spring training fucking jacked. Meanwhile, thanks to the way they put up the voting system with the writers, Barry Bonds can't get in, Mark McGwire can't get in, Sammy Sosa can't get in. But the hypocrisy of that is also as well, Mike Piazza's in. He was accused of steroids. David Ortiz. But he was a nice guy. He took fucking steroids. So, once again, hypocrisy. Because they were nice guys. Barry Bonds was an asshole to the media. With that being said, he can't go in the Hall of Fame because he's not nice. So, there you have it. There you have it. But just to overall kind of put this in a shell, the lockout's still happening. Both sides are stupid. They're not thinking about the stadium workers and the people that work for them and all that other garbage. They're not thinking about that. Not at all. Why would it be at the top of their minds? Money. Money. Even though the owners are mostly on the wrong side. But they're really hemorrhaging fans out of more baseball. With that being said, and this is after 2021, but before that 2020 season where they could have had, 120 games? Maybe 80 games? More than that? But to put a cusp on it, to put a cap on it, don't want to take too much of your time. Lockout, obviously disagreeing both sides. In terms of the Hall of Famers, they're screwed, and now this is opening a hole for newer players to take steroids, come into spring training fucking jacked. So it's hypocrisy. It's hypocrisy with the MLB. It's going to be an image problem for years. And listen, if you want to stop watching baseball, and if you've been a loyal fan to baseball, not a Gen Z fan, or go on your phone to baseball games, if you've been a loyal fan to baseball and you want to stop watching now, go ahead. I'm not going to blame you because the MLB has an image problem. And if they don't get rid of Rob Manfred at any time, and people say, oh, well, this, and this. No, the owners own Manfred's ass. And it's disgusting that they have not gotten rid of him. And also another thing as well, oh, well, this, and this. Stop making arguments. Rob Manfred fucked with the baseballs last year. Field of Dreams game. Those balls were juiced. They were juiced like Jose Canseco. They were fucking juiced. And then the dead balls for some of the meaningless games last year. Some of the unimportant games last year. So here's another hypocrisy for you guys. Rob Manfred's going to be a Hall of Fame because of these geeky writers one day, but he cheated. But he gets in because he's a nice guy and he's liked. By some people, at least. Down the road, we're going to have a history session where Rob Manfred was apparently a fucking nice guy and he was good for the MLB. Meanwhile, he just destroyed the imagery of the entire sport in 3 fucking years. So overall, make up your fucking minds. I just wanted to get this out there. I know it's not a screaming rant. I know it's not a throwing a chair rant, but it's just stupid. The MLB is so unorganized right now. It's a damn shame because I've been a fan of the MLB longer than I have the NFL, and it just seems like it's more organized with some of the other sports. Anyway, like, comment, and subscribe, turn on post notifications so you know when live stream positive drops. Definitely will be discussed on Boys in the Big Apple on Wednesday. If Sean does come on, either way, we're going to discuss it. We'll have somebody on. Peace out, guys. See you later. Stay cool. And MLB, get your asses organized, or else we're probably not going to have a season on